did James O'Connell's room fucking Saturday night in front of like 80.
That looked sick.
Yeah, it was like 80 people there. It was fucking awesome.
So where was that? Is that one of the country ones?
No, that was just at the Chermside Bowls Club.
Okay.
Yeah,
sick.
so he's got a bunch of rooms in Brisbane he runs.
Because I've only seen really because you get the invites on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I'll get like James O'Connell inviting me out and like now right or something
Buffalo,
like and I'm like I don't even know where that is on a map, but fucking
because I'm doing Chinchilla with him this Friday.
How far's Chinchilla away?
Like 5 hours.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So road trip up there.
Yeah, but he's really good about it though. Like he pays for fuel, he gets the venues to provide accommodation. Like
that's fucking sick. Oh, so you're staying out there?
Yeah.
That'll be mad.
So so it was like when I went to Emmaville. Emmaville was like 6.5 hours south.
Yeah.
And so you just meet him somewhere, and he's bought a van, like a family van.
That's like a fucking Honda Odyssey type thing.
Yeah, but it's like it's some Japanese fucking like all of the like dash and everything's in Japanese.
Oh, so it's like an import.
Yeah, and like when he starts it talks to him in Japanese, and he's like, I don't know Japanese.
That's fucking sick.
But yeah, so he'll drive you out there to those gigs, and
and then away you go.
Yeah, so
well, I feel like when you go that far out for comedy, like people are so keen to do anything,
bro.
Like
Emmaville was probably the best crowd I've ever performed for.
That's so dope.
They were so hyped. Like I shit on Emmaville a bunch, and they loved it.
You're like, so you're married to your sister, you're married to your brother.
Well, that was the thing. I was like, I could see a lot of ladies in here who settled because of location. It was like, oh shit, you're here and not related to me, you'll do. And
that's
they were
fucking awesome.
They were fucking eating it up. It was great. So I'm hoping Chinchilla's the same.
Yeah, fucking oath, man.
God,
that's sick that you've got. You seem like you've crossed that threshold. I should do the intro before we forget.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to the Mainly Stories podcast. We're back with another fantastic guest. This guy is one of my best friends in comedy. He's incredibly funny. Please welcome Jakob Friske, everybody.
G'day.
He's here. Well, but yeah, so fucking, it's sick that you've got on his gigs though. Like he seems to be putting on so many cool road gigs.
Yeah,
which is what I want to do, like down in Victoria. And I've been talking to a few comics about it. Like, just get a bunch of people, find a country town, bring like 4 or 5 comics, and just put a show on.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what he does. Like, he just finds these middle of nowhere, nobody goes there shows. Like venues. And
it's also the perfect place for his serial killer murdering spree. Like, you
100%,
you go in, kill a few people.
It lines up quite well with some disappearances, and that's all I'm at liberty to say.
I mean, look, we're not going to put it on a map. The map's out there if you want to look into
but
it.
It does spell his name.
I mean, look, you've got to give something for creativity.
Exactly, like the commitment to the bit.
Have you seen all these fucking? Apparently, there's a serial killer in Byron at the moment.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I didn't know. I've just get it on fucking Instagram. So
yeah.
Like, apparently, they're like searching buses and shit.
Yeah, fuck.
And it's like some hippie guy, and he's like, "Yeah, come to my fucking yurt in the forest." And it's like, what are you doing? Don't go to the yurt in the forest.
But it's the perfect place to do it because everyone in fucking Byron's can be like, fuck yeah, bro, a yurt in the forest?
Like, that sounds fucking sick.
Oh, I'm going to be so enlightened. Dude, when you meet God.
I'm on like one of those Byron community pages just for checking spots or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, not everyone's a friendly hippie. It's like, you need to tell adults in 2024, like, not everyone's your friend. It's like, I grew up on Stranger, and it's like that bit I'm working on right now.
Yeah.
About the fucking the drug smuggling thing. It's like, I'm on holidays, therefore everyone's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
And like,
everyone's my friend. No,
there couldn't possibly be anyone bad in Byron.
Well,
there's never been a bad hippie ever. Like Charles Manson. Say what you want about him, great guy.
Great guy. And it's these sort of people that will take down capitalism.
Exactly, and that's why I think we all need to put a bit more credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
And, listen to what the guy's got to say.
100%.
Sure, he might have been a CIA shill, but, that's...
Who is it?
I mean, look, let's be honest, we've been contacted.
Exactly.
How do you think we've gotten so far in our open mic careers? This is what being a CIA operative can get you. You can bomb for 5 minutes a night.
You think that I'd be making $50 occasionally if I wasn't a CIA informant?
I mean, forget about it. This is how you earn the money.
Exactly.
It's
how you make the big bucks.
Oh, that's unreal, dude. So what's your schedule like for the next week? You got a few on?
Well, I just got... I did have a gig tomorrow night in Brisbane, but it just got rescheduled to the 19th.
Okay.
Wednesday, I might be down in Nimbin. I don't know if they've added me to the line.
What's that scene like down there? They seem like they got because they've got Doovie and Sian, who are like very solid comics and you know quite well known.
Yeah, I think they're they're really trying hard to like get the Northern Rivers pumping a bit more, which I think is cool. You know, because like I suppose forever there's only been like 1 or 2 rooms there. Ever. Like you had to drive to Lismore or Coffs. So okay. Get a few more rooms there. I haven't done the Nimbin room yet. I had to pull out.
Oh yeah, because you were sick. Yeah.
Because I'm a little bitch.
Got a sandy pussy, and then you couldn't go.
I was like, oh no.
Hate when that happens. Sand in the vagina will make any man cancel a gig.
Exactly. You get it. You get me.
I mean, look, we look the same. I have to get it. Like we get called brothers everywhere we go.
Somebody said that to me Saturday night. Oh, Shaymark.
Like, you know who you look like? I'm aware.
Not even that. We were just going back and forth making fun of each other, and he was like, okay, Alex. It's like, you know what, man?
Oh, man, yeah. It's fucking, it is funny. Everyone's like, when we're together, like, do you guys know? It's like, we're 2 big guys with beards.
Yeah, it's like, what? Us? That's crazy.
Oh, man, it's so funny.
Yeah.
But, so basically, there's no fucking format. But, like, so how did you get started in Kid? Because we met... Maybe I want to say like 10 months ago.
Yeah,
at Tune Up.
Yeah.
In Surfers.
Yep, the Mecca.
At the Mecca of comedy on the Gold Coast, and then we've just been friends with it. So how long were you doing comedy before I knew you? Like what brought you into it?
So I started. I mean, it's sort of weird the way that I set up because like I did my first gig when I was 22.
Yeah.
But like. I sort of just did it once every couple of months. Yeah. Just as like fuck, I'll duck in and I'll.
Yeah, like there's just fun to do kind of thing.
And it was sort of like October last year when I got back from Europe that I was like, fuck, I'm going to have a proper run at it. Yeah. And so it's just gone a year.
Fuck yeah, man.
I've sort of been back into it, yeah.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
Loving it?
I am. It's I had a few ins and outs of loving it, but I'm currently, I think I'm in a really good spot.
I think that's where we connected, is where we can both be like, I'm fucking just, why am I even doing this fucking comedy thing? It's like, no, you're funny, keep doing it. And then I'll be like, okay, then I'll do the same for you. Fucking.
You bomb 4 nights in a row and you're just like, what's the fucking point?
You're like, I could just go and get a normal job. Yeah. And like, that would be fine. I'll be a normal person.
I could be home right now being judged by several less people.
Literally. But you're like not feeling the hatred of every single person in this room.
And that's the fun of it is, especially with the style of comedy that I do is, it's something I had to learn, and I think I've learned now, which is nice, is if I don't get laughs, I almost find that funnier.
Yeah, you got to be like, this bomb is fucking hilarious.
Because I look at the shit I'm saying, and if you don't laugh at it as a joke, you're like, oh my fucking god.
Well, when you write out bits in a notebook, you're like, am I a bad person?
Am I okay?
Like, this is pretty evil.
Yeah, like there's some shit like I write out that never sees the light of day that I'm just like, okay, we're trying to.
But I get to see it. You never will. But I do.
Yeah, he's not very. It's nothing worth seeing.
It is funny, isn't it? Like you just fucking like some of the shit I was writing today. You're like, that's not gonna work. Yeah, I was like, yeah, fair enough. But I thought it was okay.
At the time, you're like, oh yeah, no, this. Oh yeah. The amount of stuff that I write and then go back and read, and I'm just like, what were you thinking? Yeah. Like I was writing a bit this morning that should never be told. And it was basically about how I was going to, like I was so broke that I was starting to look for rich pedophiles to hook up with. And I was going to sell myself as having sex with me because I'm 26 is basically a 3-way with 2 13-year-olds.
That's a good. I like that premise. It's good.
Yeah. So I was running that. I was like thinking about later in the day. I was like, that is.
Like I can't get on stage and tell a room full of people that.
A room full of people unprepared to just be like.
So here's the thing you got to know about me.
I'm so broke.
Yeah, dude.
I'm finding the worst people on earth and conning them.
And then, I mean, but I almost think there's something beautiful about that. You take the most evil people in society, then you do one over.
It's a reform program, really.
For sure. You could take younger photos of yourself and then just be like, yeah, just fucking Venmo me some money or like beam me some cash and then I'll send you nudes for sure. And then just go
selling my baby photo.
I mean, look, I'm not saying it's right. It's a lane. I'm just look, modern problems.
Money talks.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on the fucking podcast, but we're keeping it in.
Fuck it.
I mean, look, it's all jokes, it's all comedy, but fucking...
Yeah, well, I mean, it probably wouldn't even land in the top 5 wildest shit I've ever said on stage, so it'd be fine. But...
Yeah, I mean, we both had some fucking pretty wild ones.
Yeah, I mean, my highlight was that couple that I walked in Brisbane when I made that joke about how SIDS was caused by Santa. Because Santa was like the bad kids got cold, but the really bad kids got SIDS.
I mean, maybe Santa was doing us a favour, saving us like from baby Hitler.
Yeah,
you know?
well, that was the thing. Is that like that's the argument I made. Is that like he looked at baby Hitler and went, you know,
I slipped up.
Here's some coal. It's like, how bad are the kids that he's taken out?
That's a great joke.
That was my angle, and then there was a couple that was sat front and center, who the woman just like in tears just got up and ran out of the room.
You made fun of a woman whose kid had died, is what you said?
Yeah, because her husband stood up and was like, look, it's our first outing since we lost our son.
Oh,
and I was like...
Did your fucking stomach just invert?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And,
bro, I can't imagine. And you're on, and you've still got to do jokes for like 10 minutes, and you're like,
no, it was a gong show. I got the gong very quickly.
Yeah, and the gong's almost a savior there.
I was like, thank God I'm not at the start of like a 10. Cause
oh mate, that would be fucking
It's so no, I could not have won that crowd back.
Yeah, I've had a few. I haven't had anything that bad. I've had I got bashed after one set.
Not many people do have something worse than that.
I've had a few people just be like, no, I'm sorry, no. I'm like, well, actually, I have a microphone. So
yes, exactly.
The thing is, yes, actually.
They've allocated this time to me.
But I do find it funny that and I'm sure you've seen it when comics get real like prissy about their time. Like, this is my time to do my art. It's like, you're putting on a show. Shut the fuck up and do it. If the crowd doesn't like you, then that's you fucking get them to like you.
Our whole art form relies on a crowd.
Yeah.
You can't do comedy to yourself.
And if you want your time, go home and go to the bathroom. Yeah. And then you got all the time you want. Have a wank, whatever you want to do. It's fucking fine.
I watched a guy do 10 minutes of Star Wars jokes the other night. And
was it brutal? Or were they good Star Wars jokes?
No, they were not good Star Wars jokes. And after every punchline, he'd pause and it'd be silent, like dead silence. And I was sitting at the back of the audience just going, dude, just move on.
Just keep going.
But he'd always pause and then he'd be like, you guys probably didn't get it. And then for every joke was just like, you did, sounds like you didn't get it.
Yeah, it's like, you would know if you actually knew what I was talking about.
Ran in my circles, brah.
In the Star Wars community, we consider that an absolute killing joke.
I've put all of these on the forum, and they've murdered.
And I get at least 4 comments back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he
and Yoda Daddy 99, he's hard to get a response out of.
He doesn't just comment on anything.
Exactly.
And he told me to kill myself, but that's his way of showing love.
Look, and he said he wants to commit force on me, so that's basically may the force be with you.
Exactly.
I was reaching there. I was trying to
play it off. I was like, yeah.
I was sitting there the whole time like, force, what's a joke? Fuck. Oh, God.
Use the force.
And that's why they pay you the big bucks.
Well,
you know, they pay me negative $11. When I go up, I pay money to get up, but it's great. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
No.
Speaking of, how's the show organisation going with a couple other mates? Maddie and...
Mitch. Yeah. No, so we're actually meeting up this weekend to sort of iron out the details. There's another mate of ours, Cody, who did a show a bit earlier in the year at a venue we want to use. So Mitch is going to be talking to him about how they set that up.
Sick. That
sort of thing. So doing that, and then we're just going to sort of go and
so that you do 320s or
so we'll just do 320s. I don't think we're going to have an MC.
Yeah.
But no, really keen for that. So we're sort of I'm going to Chinchilla with Matt.
Okay.
He's coming on the trip as well on Friday, which is good because
he seems to be getting. I saw him last week at Guilt Free.
Yeah, okay.
And I was just I didn't know he was performing, and I was like, dude, I didn't think you fucking.
Neither did he. That's how we found out.
What, he was just...
He saw it on Instagram.
I mean, what a way to get a gig at one of the best comedy clubs. Right? And he was there, he was like, hey man, like, what's going on? And I had to dash, because I was like 3rd in the lineup and I had to leave afterwards. But it sounded like it was pretty tough after I left.
Yeah, well, you do have a tendency to kill a room.
I mean, that's all I do, mate. I just fucking come in, upset people and leave.
If I can't have a laugh, no one can.
Exactly right. Exactly.
But yeah, no. So
it's good to see him doing stand up again. Hey.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen him perform in like 9 months.
Yeah.
So,
well, because he was really around at the start of the year.
Yeah.
And then just sort of fell off the face. Well, he lives in Ipswich, so
yeah,
he's probably fighting off, a bunch of criminals.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah, kissing his sister.
Yeah, exactly. Well, doing both at the same time. She was one of the criminals, but
exactly. Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, that's exciting, man. So have you put out the feelers yet at the venue, or?
No. So I think Mitch is doing that this week.
Sick.
So hopefully that'll, hopefully that'll come to fruition, and because it's a nice venue. So
yeah.
And if you can sort of sell tickets on that as well, just sort of people taking a punt because you are.
Yeah, we hear you got the right venue.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
But yeah, so I've got a fair few people who know me who want to sort of come to a show like that. So it'll be a good space for it.
And doing 20 will be fucking awesome. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I've only done 20 a couple of times before. Once was at Après.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and I feel like I'm a lot better now than I was then. So
don't get ahead of yourself.
Well, I couldn't get worse. I've watched the footage back.
Isn't that painful when you fucking we had the show last Sunday
Yeah.
and it went really well, but like watching yourself do stand up, you're just like, why are you doing that? You look weird when you meet that mannerism is stupid. Don't do that.
I usually crush.
I also hated it. I was so fucking hot that day, and I was just dripping with sweat.
I saw that video.
It was like 100,000 degrees. I'm in jeans and a black t-shirt, just like. Thank God I didn't wear grey.
Yeah,
it's not. It may have got a laugh if I had tit sweat sitting under there, but I'm not that bad yet. That if I bomb enough, maybe I resort to that kind of thing. But
a prop comic.
Exactly. That's your favourite insult to hell at people.
It is. People hate it.
People get real fucking mad.
They do not like it. Like anyone who whips out a guitar or anything like that, I'm like, prop comic.
And then they proceed to crush so fucking hard.
You're
you're just like,
and you're like,
damn it. I wish someone would call me a prop comic.
Right? Yeah.
Put some fucking fire in my belly.
Do I need an accordion?
I think you'd look great with an accordion.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. And you should get like one of those fucking French red and white hats.
Ooh, yes.
I think that would be very fitting.
I think that's my next.
You might look a bit Amish for it though.
That's true. Yeah, at least I'm no longer introduced as Jihadi Jacob.
That was one of the first gigs we did.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this guy's really funny. Let's give it up for Jihadi Jacob. You're like.
Yeah, what? Because I had short hair and a beard, and I walked up there and I was like, I've got no Muslim jokes.
See, I think I look too racist for me to be called jihadi anything. Like, someone's going to look at me and be like, definitely not jihadi. No. I'll go the other way.
I was fresh in the country as well, so I still had that nice, travel tan as well. So I was, a bit darker skinned, shaved head, beard, and he was like, yep, you've got a lane, kid.
Oh, mate. I think that should be your lane specifically.
Yeah.
Fucking Islamist radical jokes.
Yeah, no, I think it'd go well. I think my one attempt at it ever. No, that wasn't even. No, it wasn't Muslim. That's right. It was anti-Semitic.
Oops. All of the fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Both similar talking points.
I've been considering bringing that joke about how I solved the Middle East back. Actually,
you do it.
I keep looking at it in my notes and going, you can make that funny.
Take swings. Well, that's what I'm doing now. Is going over a bunch of old stuff.
Yeah.
And also realizing how kind of hack in just simple you'd make a premise, or you'd elaborate on a premise rather.
Yeah.
And going back over old ideas, and you're like, I can make that way funnier.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's sort of the thing is that I think that was that I think I went through a period earlier in the year where I had a couple of darker jokes that worked, and I had fun telling them. So I was like, that's my lane.
Yeah. And
I think it is, but I was focusing too much on the dark and not enough on the funny.
Yeah.
So I was going up there and just saying horrific things and being like...
Well, it's that fine balance
Do you get it?
It's that fine balance of dark shit is funny, but are you saying it just because it's fucked up to say and that's the laugh, or is it clever and dark?
Yeah, well that's it. Is I'm now sort of working on the premise that, it's got to be at least as funny as it is fucked up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so...
And you walk that line really, really well.
Yeah,
I mean, not to the fucking woman who you told, I'm glad that you died of SIDS, but...
Well, it's just my way of cleaning up the street. That was the peak of that. That was the turning point.
That was, okay, maybe I'm going too hard.
I was like, maybe people should enjoy my jokes.
no, this is your time, and I'm doing my art.
Yeah, this is my self-expression.
If I ever hear you say the words, I'm holding up a mirror to society, I'm going to fucking shoot you in the head. Like, that is, like, I'm sorry, we're not having it.
I saw that done so well on Friday night by a comic, like he said that, but like in a super, like
good way?
Yeah, a really ironic way. Like, I think, Rowan Gandrew.
I don't know if I know him.
So fucking funny.
Yeah.
He was up from Melbourne.
Okay.
Just doing a week of headliners for Based.
Sick.
And just crushed.
Yeah.
Like and I'd met him a couple of times but never seen him on stage, and he's a super friendly, like nice guy, and then he's just super awkward on stage. And it's
like that's part of the character kind of thing.
It's
yeah.
so good.
I love Liam Daly does that really, really well as well. Like kind of like, I'm being a bit quirky and weird, and then just will like punch a joke, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, he's so good at walking, but also like is very talented at, like, if he wants to, just tanking a room.
Like, deliberately being like, fuck this.
like not even the room, just his set. Like I think he takes, it's funny that I'm bombing to an extreme sometimes.
Yeah, it's a level of confidence I aspire to.
Oh,
like,
definitely. Like he's brilliant at it, and I find him so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool actually, like looking at the Goldie. And there is like a good batch. Not even just the Goldie, I suppose. Like Southeast Queensland, there's a good batch of comics.
Yeah, it seems like
at the moment,
it's really interesting where we started like a year ago when we were both like heavily getting into it to now. It seems like the open mic level has all sort of like graduated a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there doesn't seem to be any more comics coming up.
That was my thought process the other day is like I don't see sort of that next group moving up underneath us.
Yeah.
Which, is like, it's fine. Like it's like it'll take time, and
yeah.
I mean, we make it look so effortless that people are going to try it.
Well, and they're never going to be able to hold a candle to our comedy. It's just,
it's just one of those
exactly
things.
Right.
Like, fucking hell.
You're going to watch this being like, who the fuck are
you?
Yeah, kind of a big deal,
Yeah.
Just going to do some shows in Queensland, no problem.
Yeah, going to Chinchilla.
That is the comedy mecca of the Southern Hemisphere, actually.
Exactly.
For
sure. You look at it, like in the southeast desert area of Queensland, it is one of the top 10 spots.
Absolutely. But yeah, it is interesting how the scene's sort of shifting a little bit. I think a lot of the open mics seem to have died off as well.
It is slowing up, and I think that might be partly because of that lack of a next sort of, because like people like you, me, Mitch, Jay, Shay Mark, those sorts of guys, they're not doing, like, they're getting more opportunities on bigger shows.
Yeah.
So they're probably not doing as many open mics as they used to.
For sure.
And
I think it ebbs and flows as well. Like there was a stage like when I opened Coastal Comedy, when there was like pretty much every night an open mic on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, exactly.
Like at least Monday to sort of Thursday, there was a couple. But now it seems like there's only one or two.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
It's tough. Like there's nothing Monday, Tuesdays.
How have you found going to the bigger gigs though? Like now that you've sort of graduated onto that next level, do you find that you're still able to kind of like fuck around on stage as much? Or?
Yeah, I almost think more so. Like
because you're sort of proving your mettle a little bit and like.
Oh, not even that. I think just more like to compare last night to 2 nights ago. Like last night I did a gig to 6 people who did not want to see comedy.
Yeah, which is strange when you buy tickets to a comedy show.
Yeah, exactly, which is odd. But, to each their own. Some people like throwing away money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if they want to on us, by all means, we'll take it.
But then like the night before I did a show to, I think, 80 people. And it's just like, I don't know, like the bigger show, it was almost more license to fuck around because it was just... One, there's more opportunities to get a laugh because there's more people to laugh at, and it feels less like it feels less
forced, kind of like you're trying to like get a specific person's attention.
Yeah, exactly. Like when there's 6 people there, you're focusing in on these 6 people to be like, hey, did you find that funny? Whereas
but it's funny.
Yeah. Whereas when there's a whole group of people, you can just they just become a blur.
Yeah.
And like I fucked around a bit on Saturday night, and it was a weird gig Saturday night, and I was actually really stoked with how well I went because they were tough. Like there was 1 or 2 of the comics that they just halfway through a set for no
just decided
just flicked a switch and were like, we don't laugh at you anymore.
Yeah, it's so crazy. And then you like when you get off as well, it's so tough to know like what happened, and that's why I reckon like recording sets and watching them back is so good.
Yeah, 100%.
Like to be able to see, oh, okay, maybe I lost them there, or like I seemed a bit arrogant there, or whatever. Like, because sometimes you get off, you're like, I thought we were having a good time, and now we're not having a good time.
Exactly, I thought we were together. I think the shows that are marketed as like dirty and dark material nights are also very much my forte.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they were a bit dicey there to start with a few people. Even though it was marketed as a dark comedy night, they were like, oh, duh. Yeah. So I just sort of went out from the jump and said some wild shit.
Just like gauge the room. It's like
like I did that joke about me getting fisted in the bathroom as my opener.
What a lovely premise.
Yeah, because I was like, you know what? I'm going to lay it out there. This is what I'm going to be talking about.
Yeah.
Get on board now because it doesn't get better.
Like, if you don't like this one, then the rest of the set's really going to fucking bother you.
Yeah. You're not going to love this. And lucky inland words.
Yeah.
Luckily
you know you talk for a living, right? That's
well, not yet.
Well, you'd like to.
Very few people pay me for this nonsense.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So yeah, it was good.
It seems like the dark shows definitely are. I think we're both of us sort of said like I don't really. I mean, I'd like to do a workroom. I don't think they'd like to do me as much. You know, much like many females on the planet. You know, see that was what they call a bit of a layup there.
It's like that Louis C.K. joke about how the church sees contraception as murder, and he's like, well, in that case, any woman that doesn't want to fuck me is a murderer. And there's
fuck, that's such a good bit.
And there's a lot of murdering bitches out there.
Oh, he's so fucking talented, cool. Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting. Up here, you don't really have like as hard woke kind of rooms as much, I don't think.
Yeah, no, not really. Like, I think there's
some in Brizzy are a little bit more, but I reckon I like those rooms like more. Like I've done rooms in Brunswick in Melbourne, which is like super woke area, super progressive. And I think the fun I find in it is like saying dark shit but making it palatable. Yeah, it's like you're not supposed to laugh at this.
No, exactly. And I think sometimes those rooms like this feels like I'm throwing shade, but I'm not. But
throw shade, do it.
I think something that a lot of comics who talk about themselves as like dark comedians, they still subscribe to the very old adage of, you know, you can say what you want on stage, and like in a lot of places in like, you know, the 90s, early 2000s, a slur was a punchline. Yeah, you said that you called someone that, and everyone laughed, and it was like, oh, this is great. Yeah, and it's not the case anymore. And people are like, oh, it's work gone mad. You can't talk about anything anymore. It's like it's just that shock factor's not getting you a laugh anymore. You need to actually be funny. For sure. I've watched a lot of people like try and do that sort of stuff and just say horrific things, and I was guilty of it for a few months.
Oh, dude, me too. We've got, you know, when you start out, I think I was talking to Mitch about this on the last episode. Yeah, it's like you start out and you're like, I'm gonna be as most fucked up as I possibly can because that's what's funny, and then you realize it's like, okay, that's not probably gonna work if I'm just saying horrific things. Yeah, it's like you've got to actually, and it was something you said to me as well. You're like, I don't think the audience, this guy knows what he's talking about. But you're like, I don't think the audience, like I opened with, I can't even remember the bit, but you're like, it's a good joke, but I don't think the audience trusts you enough yet to actually laugh at that. Because if you come on stage and say, you might be a fucking maniac. Yeah, exactly. And you're coming on stage saying wild shit about, I don't know, pedophiles and brothels and and then they're like, who is we don't know this person. Yeah, exactly. And so they're a bit like, well, what's going on here?
Yeah, I think that was sort of something that I learned the hard way too, was that, you know, once, like when you're still green and you're trying to get away with that stuff, you've got to earn their trust. Yeah. And I think you and I were both sort of in a spot where the darker stuff that we were doing wasn't funny enough to start with that, and because then it was very easy to turn off on that and be like, oh no.
And also probably as well, like we didn't have the presence on stage enough to be like, I know this is funny, trust me, it's going to work. We were kind of like, I hope you like this.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. You almost tense up when you say it, and that makes them, because they're like, oh, he knows he's being fucked up.
Yeah, so like there's malicious intent.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of
He's like, he feels bad about saying this.
Yeah.
So, and it just creates that tension. Whereas I think we're sort of more both in a spot now where you commit to the bit enough that you're like, I know this is funny.
Yeah, this is the joke.
This is the joke. This is funny.
It has worked enough times that...
Yeah, if you don't laugh...
Then you're a moron.
Well, yeah.
Then you're just wrong, and you should never come to comedy ever again.
Exactly. This is if you don't like this, you're PC gone mad.
Exactly. But I think that reminds me. Did you see Anthony Jeselnik on Flagrant 2?
No.
Well, he was talking about this whole idea that people say, it's like, oh, you can't say anything anymore. You can't say anything. I'm a comedian. I can say what I want. He's like, no. You can say whatever the fuck you want, but if people get mad, there are consequences to what you say.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just because you're a comedian doesn't give you the license to say whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want it.
Yeah, because he was talking about, I don't think it was on that pod, but it was another one. It was on his own, I think, where he's like, it was that old, what's his name? Can't remember the name of the guy, but it was Art is Getting Away with It.
Yeah,
like,
I think,
and if you get up there and you say the horrible things and it upsets people, you didn't get away with it.
Yeah, so you're just being horrible.
Yeah, exactly. You're just being a horrible prick, and that's
which we are.
Yeah,
let's not get that. Let's get that very clear.
Yeah, I'm a piece of shit, but I'm a piece of shit who tells pretty good jokes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a funny piece of shit.
Yeah,
and there's been a few of them in our time.
Let's
name them. No. Who do you relate to most? Well, given a strong Cosby vibe.
No, I've never been that family friendly.
Absolutely not. Perish the thought.
Yeah. I was thinking the other day that was like, it's like, did no one question it was called the Cosby Show when they were called like, whatever their last name was, like the Danielsons or something?
Like the concept, the immersion of this fucking show is terrible.
Yeah.
His kids are all the Danielsons, but he's still Bill Cosby. They call him Mr. Cosby, even though they're meant to be his dad. To be fair, they were drugged up at the time.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Mr. fucking Cosby.
And look, to be fair, when I've been drugged up, I've misnamed people plenty of times.
Oh,
so
exactly.
it's part of the course.
Oh shit.
But so looking forward, next year, what do you think? You think you're going to do little festival shows, or do you think you're just going to focus on up here doing some of the regional stuff? What's the plans?
Well, I think that'll depend a little bit on how the Split Bill show goes.
Yeah.
Like if that goes really well, we might try and get into like the Brizzy Fringe, the Gold Coast Laughs, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I think at least the first half of next year is going to be really about trying to solidify myself across Brizzy and the Goldie as like a
solid booking.
Like a what's the word I'm looking for? A feature act.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's sort of where I want to solidify myself. Like, I think I'm doing my first feature slot at Good Chat in December.
Which is super exciting. It's a huge gig.
Which I'm super keen for.
Yeah.
And I think just sort of trying to keep taking those steps. I don't think I'm going to get in with Sit Down anytime soon.
Yeah. Have you done the open mic there?
Yeah, just did it last week, and I was the only act on the bill that got the light.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you get the light early?
No, it was on time, but I think
See, I'm so like the light. Whenever I get the light, I like try not to, but I'm like, okay, well, I got this one more joke, and this is what it is. Very funny.
But no, it was just I mean, I've been on there in a long time, and I was told it was because of the content of my material, and then so I went there and I was just sort of like, look, I'm just gonna do my act, because at the end of the day, it's my act. It's what I'm best at doing, and
and you just want to do what you think is funny. Like you're not gonna I guess change who you are on stage to fit a certain thing. It's your comedy's not for everybody. No. And I heard a similar thing about Raw. A friend of mine said to me like, it's like a very kind of woke show, and it's on the ABC, and you won't get through if you do dark stuff. Yeah. What are you gonna do? I was like, well, look, I'd only been doing comedy for like 3 weeks then, and I was like, I'm just gonna do what I think is funny. Yeah. And I think that's a good way to go about it.
Oh, 100%.
Again, we're still both very green, so what the fuck would we know?
We'll continue to learn and continue to grow with it.
In like 5-10 years, you'll see us just not swearing at all on stage. And so what's the deal with the TransLink system in Brisbane? It's just insane. I mean, am I waiting for a bus or a train? Like, there's a good fair chance, you know.
Well, you know.
If there's enough money in it, I mean...
Yeah, fuck. and that's the thing I think we forget is I'll do anything for money.
Anything. But yeah, that's exciting, man. I think you've got... I mean, you've climbed the ladder so quickly and you're doing so well, and everyone in the scene who I've ever spoken to about you thinks you're a fucking killer. So
thank you, man. I appreciate that.
It's exciting to see your friends start climbing up and doing well and getting big shows. And
I wish any of those people would say it to my face.
Isn't that the way people always say? I mean, no one says it about me anyway. They'll say how fucking annoying I am, but that's besides the point.
You look like that really funny guy.
It's a shame you're not as funny as him. I get that all the time, and I'm like, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Perfect, cool. Oh, yeah, cool.
I just need to start going by Jihadi Alex, and then my life will turn around. Because that was the turning point for you, I think. Having that as my open...
Alex al-Baghdadi.
Yeah, exactly right. That's going to be the name of my specialist, Alex al-Baghdadi. It's look, I'm a slut for alliteration. You know this. It's one of my favourite things. The best. But yeah, I think, that's exciting. And I think there are those gigs now, particularly doing the country stuff. Do you find the audiences are different, sort of, when you go out into the country and you're, like, a bit wilder, a bit more down to have a good time?
Yeah, I think they're definitely, they're definitely there more for, like, I think they're more grateful that there's a show on, and as such, they come more in a mood to have fun. Like, when you've got, comedy shows on every night of the week, when you're in Brizzy.
Yeah, it's like,
duck out to a show anytime. It's just sort of like, we'll go and we'll have a look.
It's not really that special.
No, exactly. Whereas if you go out to Chinchilla, Emmaville, these sorts of places where they're the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and no one ever goes there, it's like, oh shit, there's something on. We're excited. We're going to have a good time.
For sure.
Someone's going to take care of the kids. We're going to go out. We're going to have a few drinks. We're going to have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got laid more at country shows than at city ones. So.
Only in your country town, though, right, where you grew up?
Yeah, exactly. Just that was a family reunion.
Yeah, exactly right. You have a bit about something similar to that, don't you?
I sort of have a throwaway towards the end. Oh I do. Yeah, my closing bit at the moment is about blowing my uncle. Yeah,
and what a man he is.
But it's fun because the whole time you think I'm picking on my mum.
The misdirect.
Yeah, the misdirect. I'm actually banging her brother.
I mean, that is a good way to bully someone. You want to get back at them, bang their siblings. So,
exactly.
And that's the biggest fuck you of all, really. Yeah. It's healthy stuff. I actually been thinking about, I got this fucking weird thought. If I could be sick to just buy a van and then just do road gigs in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Just be like, I'm coming to town, I'm doing a show. Rock up in a van, do your show, and then fuck off.
I think once you have an hour of material, like I think... well, that's what Daniel Muggleton's... I'm not sure about the van part, but like Daniel Muggleton's doing a tour of the East Coast, and he's going to all sorts of little towns. Like, I'm pretty sure he's going to Emmaville.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just.
I was actually listening to his podcast, Flog Cabin, today. It's really, really good. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Yeah, right.
Not that we would have viewers that fucking he doesn't have already, but he's got Andrew Hamilton.
It's just about helping out the little guy.
Exactly.
Shouting them out.
Us titans of industry. You gotta give something back to the community.
Exactly. It's important.
Definitely.
Got to nurture the next generation.
But yeah, I think that's the way to do it, because in America they have like the road. Yeah. And you have all those markets. And I've been thinking, like, does that really exist here? And I think the only way it does is if you go to country towns. Yeah. No, and it's probably certainly a lot less glamorous, but I love country towns. Yeah. They're so much fun.
I used to have a bit about how I liked country people better, but it sort of didn't work unless I said a slur, and a lot of places wouldn't let me on stage saying it.
You've just, say the slur.
That's why I say our favourite slur.
Alright, so what are our favourite words that you're not meant to say? I'm sure you can guess mine.
Fucking hell.
This is great for the career. We've just been like, sit down and tell me that they didn't like my material. I got a friendo in Melbourne who's literally, like, he's one of the best comics I know. He's a really great guy, Joel Templey.
Hurtsball.
I said one of, Chevy. It's fucking settled out. No, I'll make it up to you after the pod, darling. Don't worry. But yeah, he got a message from people and they were like, "Oh yeah, like the content that you put on Instagram is not appropriate, so we're not going to book you. Sorry."
Right.
And he puts up some, but they're jokes. He's a comedian. Like, they're not, and it's nothing. I mean, we've said crazy shit on stage for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, that is the room runner's sort of prerogative, is to be able to book the sort of acts that they want on stage.
Not me. I'll take anybody. You want to come do comedy? Hit your boy up. That's how you get another for one of the. I'm not going to name the guy, but one of those guys.
I know exactly who you're talking about. That was the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
For people that don't know, we had a guy come up, and essentially he was like, "Why the fuck am I on last?" And I was like, "Okay, well you can go in the middle half." He was like, "Fine, whatever." And he got on stage, said the N-word a bunch of times, and then tried to fight me, which. I don't know if you know, it's probably not a really good thing to do
if you want
to keep doing comedy.
Yeah,
and
he just kept asking people if they had any pingers.
Yeah,
and any ciggies, and then when they said no, he'd just move on, and he just wanted to hold the gig hostage. Like he kept telling you, it's like, if you want your microphone back, you'll have to take it off me.
Yeah, he's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You can't take the mic off me. It's like,
I think he traded a dart for it.
I was like, have a dart and fucking get out of here.
Yeah.
You're never coming back.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing about open mic rooms. You meet some very, very lovely people, such as yourself, and you meet some very mentally ill human beings, like me.
There was once you'd moved back down to Melbourne, and it was one of the weeks that I was hosting.
Yeah.
And this guy came. I can't remember his name, but it was his second time ever doing comedy.
Yeah.
And he'd done his first time at Après as well.
Yeah.
And he turned back up. He's like, I've written a bunch of new jokes. They're going to be great. Now, to paint you a picture, he's a very pale white dude.
Right.
Shaved head.
Okay.
Like, skinhead vibes.
Yeah. Okay.
But was a super nice guy. But was like, hey, what sort of crowd have we got in tonight? And I was like,
the like alarm bells are starting to go
yeah,
off.
I was like, oh God.
No.
I was like, I'm not really sure why. And he was like, do you think it'd be a sort of crowd that'd be okay with me saying the N-word? And I was like, there aren't.
There's no crowd.
There aren't crowds like that.
God, you can't say that.
No, it's not okay. And he was like, oh, you say some crazy stuff up there. I was like,
yeah. But I don't say that.
I don't say that.
That's sort of like the cardinal sin of comedy. Like,
that's how you go out on your last booking if you never want anyone to book you again.
Yeah, if you want to get punched in the head and then fucking banned from a scene.
Yeah, it was...
People are fucking wild.
He was so bummed out too. I was like, no, there's no...
Does he come back since?
I've seen him once or twice.
Okay. Would I have seen him?
Yeah.
I'm trying to put together who
his first time was when you were there.
Oh, we're back. Bam. We just had to gossip about some people off camera.
Exactly.
Anyway, please continue.
Yeah, well, it's funny because when I was about to do the Newmarket open mic, and Sarah, she's new.
Sarah Baines? Yeah,
so she was like...
Super funny.
So funny. She did this song on Friday night at Matic about... It was called Please Don't Put That Penis in My Butthole. It was stuck in my head all weekend.
You're just walking around, please don't put that penis in my butthole.
It was, she's so good.
Yeah, fuck. Well, I think she was a finalist in Raw.
Yeah, I think a state finalist, maybe. Yeah, very funny. But she came up to me when I was emceeing.
Yeah.
Afterwards, and she was like, yeah, so I looked at the rules for that one, and it was like, no abuse, no pedophilia, anything like that. She's like, you opened this show with a pedophile joke.
You're like,
and I was like,
I fucking broke the rules.
And I was like, no, this was when I was emceeing at Après. She was like,
right.
She was like, you talked about all the stuff you're not allowed to talk
Wait, what rules did she read?
No, the rules for sit-downs open mics.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so they have rules of like things you just aren't allowed to
Yeah, I've had a few
I
different rooms that give me rules.
Talked about all of them when I was up there, which is probably why they fucking lit me.
I mean, you're just a fucking rule breaker.
Exactly. No, well, I've got the footage. I got laughs.
And look, that's all that matters at the end of the day. If you're getting laughs, you're getting laughs. That's fucking...
But, yeah, no, she was like, yeah, you broke all the rules. And I was like, yeah, like, this room's a lot chiller or whatever. And she was like, oh, I thought that was just the standard in Queensland. And I was like,
no. That's like, definitely not. You're going to be fine.
Yeah. I was talking to her Friday night, telling her I was doing a dark comedy night on the Saturday.
Yeah.
And, yeah, she was like, oh, you're doing a dark comedy night. She's like, isn't that what you do now?
She's like, as opposed to your clean comedy nights?
And I was like, look, there's a couple of jokes that I had to throw away at the time that I bring back.
Yeah.
I did have to, my first dark comedy night with James in Runcorn.
Okay, I don't know where that is, so it's probably far.
Logan.
Yeah.
I had to like break character at one point because I have a joke that I've stopped telling because it's horrible.
Yeah.
And I would never tell a joke like this, but in theory I did that night about. It sort of implies I murdered a woman.
Implies.
Anyway, yeah, none of this will hold up.
We're looking for the Byron serial killer. We found him.
Hey. But I hit the punchline, and two guys in the front row cheered.
You're like, that's bad.
And I had to stop and be like, hey, you can't cheer that.
I'm making a joke, and it's dark. You shouldn't be like, yeah.
You're making it very real by being like, yeah, kill that bitch.
Okay, we're definitely in Runcorn right now.
Yeah, I was like, cool, yeah, fuck.
Yeah, sometimes you forget where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was like, oh, I get why the Dark Comedy Night works here.
Yeah, I was about to make a very classist statement, but I won't.
No, because we love everyone. And we love all of them to listen to this podcast and come to
listen to this podcast and buy tickets to our shows.
Exactly.
Definitely.
You know those shows that I no-show the day of?
Exactly. I've got a bone to pick with you.
Hi.
You need to sort your car out. Fucking
yeah.
Fuck, dude. I could tell you were like, fuck, I'm freaking out, and like, I was just sad that you weren't there to fucking have fun with us. But dude, so you broke down on the freeway on the way to the show.
Yeah. So I got the car back.
And the M1 is like the last place you want to be standing or sitting for 2 hours.
Yeah.
At like fucking heat, 6 p.m.
Yeah, in a lane, like not off the road.
Oh, you were in a lane?
In a lane.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I'm getting anxiety for you.
Yeah, it was great. So I got the car back on the Thursday after putting a new transmission in it. Drove it to Gympie and back. Apparently, sometime between driving it back from Gympie and coming to the show, I burst a coolant hose.
Great.
And spat all the water out of it. And
Brilliant.
I've now blown a head gasket.
Gasket?
Yeah, so
you've blown a head gasket?
Oh,
no, not the head gasket.
Indubitably.
Fuck, man. That would have been...
Yes.
And particularly you just got the thing and you were hyped on it. Oh.
Yes, that's another $7,000 I've got to find somewhere.
Jesus, dude.
So donate to my GoFundMe.
Yep, we're setting up a GoFundMe link.
Yep.
And it's going to be called the fundraiser for the Byron serial killer. And
exactly.
It's going to be very nondescript.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really subtle is what I appreciate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fuck, that would have been so rough, man. And then I've had my car towed once when I pulled out of the airport and then unmarked car comes flying up after me.
Yeah, okay.
And a guy gets out in a face mask with a machine gun. I was like, what have I done?
Oh no.
He was like, this is whatever fuck from Raptor Squad. And I was like, do you think I'm like a gangland criminal? He was like, your tyres are bald. I'm not letting you drive away. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. And he was like, you wait here. I'm calling a tow truck. It's like, hey man, you call whatever you want. No, that's fine.
Do you just want it? You just
you take the car. I don't need it anymore, dude.
I hate this car.
But yeah, and then the tow truck was like, oh, it sucks when your car doesn't work, eh? I'm like, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks more getting shot by a fucking like SWAT looking dude in a fucking car. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, so that's the difference between you and me because I don't pull out. All right.
This is working on new bits.
Beautiful.
Jacob and Alex.
Okay.
What have you got for me, man, that you're working on, that you're thinking of?
Okay, so here we go. Let me bring them up.
See, this is what, the new age does. They're all on their phones all the time. Yeah.
There's a couple I got here. So one is a bit I wrote the other day where it was like... Because I've got a few bits at the moment where I shit on Christians, and it's only because I don't respect their religion.
Yeah, and God isn't real.
Yeah, exactly.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You just go around aborting babies for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's really my defiance of God.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You just put on contraception when you're walking around because it's an act against God, and that's what we're all about here. You got a condom on right now.
100%. Yeah,
for sure.
And that was just because I was scared of what I'd catch from this place.
He's right to be worried.
Yeah, but I've tried to twist it at the end now, and I'm like, it's not all bad. Not all of Christianity is bad, and it's like, for example, Christians wait till they're married to have sex, and as someone from Gympie, I can really appreciate waiting until you're a family to get down.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Just something like that. Something
Yeah,
stupid.
for sure.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I think playing into that and just like the complete misdirect.
Yeah.
And I'd even like explain it a little bit more.
Okay.
It's like a lot of people, if you know, they're like, oh, what do you mean? Waiting till marriage? Like, what the fuck? That's crazy. You know, from where I grew up, and like just prolong that, so then that punch hits harder, I reckon.
Okay, yeah, because I've started mentioning a bit earlier on when I do my Titanic joke about how, you know, I identify with the Titanic because my stepmom's name was Rose and she once tried to drown me because of ice.
Nice.
I've started following that with, and I grew up in Gympie, so I didn't even have to make that joke up. And so I'm sort of mentioning that, and I think that'll play into it nicely, into like coming back to it and sort of, because most people in this area are aware that Gympie is an incestuous hellhole.
And if you're not, and if you're from Melbourne, Gympie's an incestuous hellhole. So there you go.
Yeah, think Tasmania.
Tasmania, but hotter.
Yeah, hotter and with less natural beauty.
And less teeth in most of the people there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they love to throw a headbutt.
Yeah. I was more talking about ice, but sure.
Yeah.
Headbutts and
six, one. Yeah, well, you lose the teeth from ice and then your head's more aerodynamic as you're throwing the headbutt.
I mean, it must help your headbutting style when you're like, and you got no drag there.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to get one of these junkies in the wind tunnel to get the science down.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Yeah.
I think the closest we'll get is them fighting in the sewers, but, you know, we'll still record.
I mean, look, I'll put a big fan down there and fucking film on my iPhone. I'm fine with that. Look, if the comedy career doesn't make it, the content will be fucking excellent. Like, it'll be...
Bum Fights 2.0.
Fucking oath. Oh. Yeah, all right, what am I working on? I'm trying to figure out this concept. I put it up on my story today about being a private school bogan. So, like, I'm a contradiction. Like, I felt more comfortable talking to tradies, and it was similar to that tradie bit I used to do. It's like, I always felt more comfortable. I'm like, yeah, how you going, cunt? Like, what's going on, brother? Blah, blah, blah. And then my mum would call, it's like, yes, mother? That would be excellent. Okay, thank you. I'll see you for supper. Yes. Goodbye. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, what stereotypes between the two to, like, play off. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then what they have in common. So it's like rich people love cocaine. Bogans love cocaine, like would love cocaine, but they can't afford it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure that concept out. I'm still at home every Sunday for Sunday dinner, but I always bring an underage girl as my date. That was so yeah. And like tradies, I'm always going for younger women. Yeah. Now, granted, mine aren't at school still. Yeah, they dropped out. Because you know they'd have to be stupid to go for a guy with no money. Who's useless with his hands. Exactly. I mean, that's... Yeah. You know, that's how I will. Go, what about other ones? Give me another one. Okay. All right. So, I think my girlfriend might be autistic because, like, I love coming to these gigs. Yep. But she really gets excited when I go out of a night because she always says that she wants to run a train at home. Yeah, I like it. That's solid. That's really solid. Have you used that yet? No. Once. Yeah, nice. I think I fucked the wording up on the night, so it didn't really work. Yeah, like why isn't this working? Yeah, what else have I got here? This is horrible, and it'll probably get cut out. I've been doing this for a little while now, and I actually got approached by a manager for the first time. You know, he was going to book me on some big shows, you know, but he wanted 40% of all the money I made, and I was like, fuck, talk about paying your dues. Yeah, that's good. We're keeping that in. That's solid. That's really, really solid. Yeah. Fuck. That's good. Yeah, I've got that one about Santa that I was telling you about the other day. Oh, yeah. And it's like, I'd love to hear like woke parents like describing Santa Claus to their kids. It's like there's a man in charge of a giant factory of elves. Fucking asshole. And then, don't worry about the elves. It's like they were born to work. They love working and they do it all for free and they do whatever Santa says. Like, do you know how much you sound like a fucking cotton farmer from Alabama? Like, that's straight. I just can't wait for the Tarantino movie, like Buddy the Elf Unchained. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson's definitely playing the house elf. Like, make those toys, motherfucker! Anyway, that's a concept I'm working on. I think there's something there. Fucking Rudolph Hitler, am I right? He hates Rudolph the Big-Nosed Reindeer. I don't know. We're just ripping here, folks. We're just ripping.
Oh.
There's other concepts I've got.
Yeah. The one I was talking to you about who's a worse person, Hitler or Michael Jackson.
I like that premise.
Yeah, because it's like look, Hitler, terrible person, horrible, but was just doing his job. Michael Jackson had a career in music. Like, he was just fucking them kids for the love of the game.
He's just doing it for the art of it.
Exactly. He was the purest form of pedophilia there is. Because he didn't need it.
Yeah, I mean, no, he just wanted it.
He could have banged anyone in the world. And he picked Macaulay Culkin.
I mean, that should just be an indicator of how severely deranged he was. I mean, you got all the people in the world, all the boys in the world, and you picked Macaulay?
You home alone now, boy.
I think fucking Shane Gillis had a bit of fun. He's like, can you imagine how fucking hard Michael Jackson must have been watching Home Alone? He's like, holy shit, he's home alone. Fuck.
Oh, he's making him work for it.
It's like, oh, he's so tricky. I'm going to get that boy up to Neverland Ranch. Yeah, fucking... What else have I got that's funny? Not much, really.
I'm thinking about with my Black Panther joke.
Yeah.
And this might be take it a step too far.
Go on.
Because at the moment I sort of go, it follows on from the Titanic bit, and I go, I also saw Black Panther recently because I'm an ally. But what I'm thinking of doing is going, because I'm an ally. Oh, sorry. That's Chadwick Boseman now.
That's good. I think you'll piss a lot of people off.
Yeah,
but I like it.
That's sort of my thought process. Is I'm like, is it going to upset more people than it pleases?
I mean, look, I'm all about that though. Yeah, fucking, you gotta get it. Well, we just spent half the podcast being like, please the audience, fuck the audience, say the damn thing.
Well, it's like Patrice O'Neill used to say. He was like, not everyone should be laughing. There should be 50 people laughing and 50 people horrified.
Oh man, I got this one that I'm working on where it's like people who make sweeping political statements based on Instagram clips are just as fucking annoying as the cunt that sits down when you're watching a movie and being like, what's happening there?
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. He did it. And you're just like, you don't know all the time. And they're like, this is dumb. I don't like this movie. That person's a piece of shit. And like, there's something.
Yeah, there's something there, definitely.
Yeah. You all right?
Well, your mum's pubes.
Oh. I thought she shaves them. She must be a different regiment.
Yeah, that's why she calls me the razor. I've got one that's like, so sort of, I think I'm going to alienate white girls.
Yeah.
But sort of like start off, be like, hey, where's my white girls in the audience? And sort of get them to sort of get involved. Yeah, so and then sort of try and find who's into manifestation. It's like who's a believer in manifestation. You know, so like manifestation really just about if you want something enough, the universe will provide it. Yeah. Which really says to me that there's millions of starving people in the world who just don't want it enough. And I think we're making mistakes by sending them food. And what we should do is we should be sending them scissors, corkboard, and magazines so that they can put together vision boards.
And we can also just ship them all of our manifestation people, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Exactly. Yeah, you go out there, you teach them.
I got one. That's a terrible one, but fuck it. Did you see that woman in America who shouted at a baby's face at a Kamala Harris rally?
Oh shit! No.
She came over and just screamed into a pram.
Fucking hell.
And everyone's like, "What a terrible person!" But we don't know what that baby was doing. That baby could have been a little cunt. Like, you ever walked around a shopping centre on a Saturday and there's 3 kids fucking running around and throwing shit everywhere?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that baby's head starts to look like a football. A coward punch looks awfully similar to a handball.
Yeah, well, that's why they've got the reset button.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's, fucking...
I had quite an abusive childhood.
Yep.
My dad used to beat me up a lot, which, sounds pretty bad until you hear that was only the second worst thing he did to me with his fists.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
And it's people who use disposable vapes are like people who smoke tailored cigarettes.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, it's quick, it's easy.
Yeah.
People that use those big refillable ones, they're always going to bang on about less chemicals, fucking tastes better, blah, blah, blah. but in the end, you just look like way more of a cunt.
Yeah.
There's something, I don't know how to finish that joke.
Yeah. Ooh.
Particularly because the end result's the exact same and you're both getting cancer anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. There was a bit over it.
Yeah, cancer's going to fuck you either way. You're just picking the size of dildo to do it with.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. That's very good. But yeah.
Oh, this concept I've had for ages. I just can't flesh it out into a joke.
Yeah.
Why don't pedophiles just fuck dwarves?
Yeah.
Like,
I see what you're saying.
The concept, like, there's something there.
There's something there that's funny. For sure.
Good, like, I want to...
Like, do you reckon that maybe, like, midget porn... Oh, some... We're cutting. Excuse me, we had to cut something there. Do you think, like, dwarf porn is the pipeline to being a pedophile? So it's like, first you get into, like, you're into normal porn, then you get into dwarf porn, and then it's like,
well, I don't know. It might almost be the recovery. It might almost be the opposite. Like,
so maybe you should prescribe...
I think it's a way to wean people off. And, like, the thing is that people with dwarfism struggle so much with employment. So they've got spare time on their hands. So I want to set up a pedophilia prostitution ring of dwarves.
Yep. And then you dress them up real childlike.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if they're consenting adults...
Yeah, like, and they're getting some money out of it. Yeah, like prostitution's legal in Australia. You could be the first person to have the all little person brothel.
I'm trying to solve an issue we have in society.
Yeah.
Because what's the alternative? They keep fucking kids.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, so that's sort of my...
It just reminds me of, have you seen the Warwick Davis show? When he's... Oh, I can't think of the name of it. And he's like essentially like being like, yeah, it's good being a dwarf as an actor. It's a comedy show that Ricky Gervais produced.
Oh, okay.
It's so fun, and it's just him like trying to get jobs without doing like the typical dwarf roles.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's really good. It's worth a watch. If you haven't seen it, fucking, it's worth a watch. But yeah, that's a funny fucking premise.
Yeah. So I think the moral of the story is that if you are a pedophile, fuck a midget.
You want to keep that in? Fuck it.
I don't care.
Yeah, fuck it. Alright, well that would end on that note.
Big closing bit.
If you're a pedophile, fuck a midget. I've been Alex Bain, this is Jakob Friske. Yeah, we'll put your socials in the link. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, brother.
It's always a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
See you next time.